I gotta deal with 3 weeks of you potentially getting your back blown out.
Why are you entitled to her body? She's not your wife.
Don't worry about what she's doing.
It's not even your body. She don't belong to you.
That's one thing.
I don't want to find out that another dude's blowing her back out while I'm trying to get her.
I get it.
What you're really saying is your entitlement.
Facts.
Because
I'm investing money in you, so I need this to come back.
You feel entitled to her loyalty, her commitment, and her body, even though she's not even your girlfriend, because you're investing into her.
And I'm gonna say yes to that.
You're scared to compete.
I'm not scared to compete. I don't like competing.
That's not your girl yet.
I'm not.
You shouldn't compete when that's your girlfriend. But you're talking about this strange woman in a week. You're like, oh, I don't want to compete.
Listen,
you think you're the only man out here?
Why y'all blacking on me like this?
She doesn't belong to you.
She doesn't belong to you.
I don't want to deal with the idea in my level of insecurity. Yes, guys, I'm calling myself insecure.
Accountability. You're saved, right? So I'm going to put this under the faith aspect. This shouldn't even be a conversation.
Being saved has nothing to do with that reality, though.
I know there are Christian women still having sex. I know that.
And welcome back to the Lolo Show, episode 3. I have my beautiful, wonderful, lovely friends. Introduce yourself, guys.
Hey, y'all. My name is Naya Louis. The pride. The pride.
Eats.
The pride.
Eats.
Do you want a bio or are we just chatting?
No, y'all can start introduce yourselves. Introduce yourselves.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Wife of?
I'm the wife of my dear husband here, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Wait, you said we giving a bio?
Quick little bio, quick little rundown.
Okay, yes. I am a 24-year-old content creator. I've been in the field for like 3 or 4 years now. I talk about relationships, dating, faith, the whole 9.
No.
What you mean, no?
She's humble right now.
First generation healed.
FGH.
FGH?
The founder of First Generation Healed.
Yeah. You know, I should have led with that.
And I'm
you, like, First Generation Healed.
Yeah. FGH?
FGH.
If you're first generation healed, can I get FGH?
You gotta make a whole stroll too, like.
Wow.
G H F G. Big G.
Yes.
Hey, your turn.
Yes.
Jonathan Louis. I'm a 25-year-old personal trainer, ex-digital marketing strategist, ex-salesman. I'm happy to be here.
Hello. And put the mic towards your mouth a little bit more, yeah.
Oh, hey, yo. Let me just move this back.
Yeah,
there's a weight on it, so
it's
you
a
can't
sandbag.
just move it.
Just what?
No, you can move the sandbag.
Oh.
Oh, move this thing.
Yeah. And then just point it up. Yeah, right there.
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't have to feel uncomfortable. Fix it. You see how she fixed it for it to be comfortable in front of her face?
All right, I'm comfortable now.
All right.
Yeah, so son, brother, uncle, cousin, whatever you want to call me, but I'm very passionate about personal training, health and wellness, anything related to the body, mind, and soul. I believe all of it is connected. So I'm really excited. Let's dig in.
Right. And you're the husband of?
I'm the husband of Naya Louis.
I like it. Let's get it started. So let's pod. And today I'm ready to pod, y'all. So this is my first episode officially being saved. I brought it up in episode 2. Episode 3, we're here now. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about your relationship. Because why the hell did y'all get married so young?
How young? What's the definition?
What's young to you?
Naya, you're 24.
Yeah.
I was 23 when I got married.
Flex it. Are you wearing your ring?
I'm wearing my ring. Gang.
What made you guys get married so young? Because I find it hard to find love at this young age. You know, I don't know if I don't have the maturity. I don't know if I'm just, too horny.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you got married.
Yeah.
To her.
Angelo is so
I found the gem.
It was one of those like
I found the gem.
I might not find this one again.
I might not find this. That's very true. No, you're completely right.
Right? I understand from your perspective. What the hell did you see in him? Let's start there.
Because he was actually mature. Like, he was his age and he acted his age, if not older in maturity level.
Yeah,
like
no, he doesn't act his age. He acts definitely 10 times older than me.
no, like he's grown, and I really appreciated that. I love the fact that he was a man who is creative. He does photography. He writes poetry. He just does so much, but he also loved the Lord, but wasn't weird. Because when I first got saved, I was like, I feel like Christians are weird. And he wasn't. And I was like, he was like one of the first people I met. And I was like, wow, like, okay, he's a real person. And I just found that really attractive. He was also very charming.
Very charming.
Yes, sir. What was it about her? State the obvious first.
The obvious is she's hot. She's super hot. Like, just make sure you zoom in on that face.
I receive it.
Because that face does everything it needs to do for me.
Wow.
And see, at the time we were dating, I didn't know there was a body too underneath the clothes. But nobody knows. A very nice body too.
Thank you.
First date is what really got me. She came in this dress. I said, oh, I can't mess this up. Like, the dress she was wearing, I was like, I got nervous. I never get nervous.
Oh, he was very nervous.
I'm getting nervous thinking about it. My palms are sweating, but she just came like it wasn't Sunday no more. It was like, oh, we're not in church. Like, still buddy. I was like, she's been wearing all these like modest outfits and flowy skirts, but yes, that's the obvious. But other than that, her emotional maturity really showed up for a lot. And I think in my time of dating, I never really found women to be able to leave space for a man's feelings. It kind of felt like I always had to cater to where a woman was at, or maybe play fixer-upper. Like, I have a savior complex. Like, I like to find like project women to like bring them to the Lord or bring them closer to God or do something. But she had nothing for me to really work on or fix. And that was super reassuring. And it made dating more fun because now we at the same level, we the same speed. And she always reserved space for my emotions and my feelings. She was always down to talk.
Big Papa.
Right. Let's talk about, real quick. Let's talk about celibacy before marriage.
The abstinence.
The abstinence. Abstaining.
Yes.
How did you guys find the courage to abstain
The
for
courage.
so long?
The courage. That's God.
I'll keep it a stack. Because this was my first relationship when I got saved. So, like, I knew...
First and last.
First and last.
Amen.
Lord took me out the game quick. There was a point where I was like, oh, we're really doing this for real. Because every other relationship, like, obviously I was having sex in. So it was like, oh, like, I knew we wasn't, but like, oh, we're not. Like,
we're really not.
And it hit me.
If he had wanted to have sex.
He did.
No, I'm saying if I
make a move? No.
Yeah, there were times where so that's the plot twist of like abstaining. It's not like, oh, this just like we're not doing it. It's like, oh no, we're trying not to do it. So there would be days where it was harder for him and it was harder for me. And it was like, if any one of us matched that energy, it probably would have been good. You know what I'm saying? So there were days that like I was like, and he was like, so it's just a balance.
You guys kind of held each other accountable. Like,
yeah.
You know,
we had to just be like, all right, I'm leaving. You know, we have to stop this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, someone has to stop it.
Damn, how y'all do it, bro?
How
did y'all do it? I can't. Yo, my thing is, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you know, newly found faith, whatever people want to do it. Like, yo, that's, you know, somebody put a cookie in front of my face, I might bite it. And it's like, the worst part is like, again, because you as the woman, you guys are a bit more controllable due to like, you know, society's perspective. Like, no matter how much you want to do it, like, you kind of got to hold off.
Mm-hmm.
With men, like, we always want to do it.
Buffet mentality.
Huh?
Buffet mentality.
Yeah, it's like, and so we'll put you guys in the best positions to be influenced to do it. So that's why I wanted to know, like, because you guys dated for like about a year and a half?
Mm-hmm.
10
You guys got
months.
together?
Almost a year.
10 months.
You guys are my friends. Let's get real transparent.
Okay.
Right? Because the off rip, when you guys initially did it, because I didn't know what the dynamic was between you guys.
Mhm.
Like I probably was there for everything except for the proposal.
Yeah.
So I didn't know the dynamic, right? And I knew about his recent history, dating history, and I also knew about, his faith, and he was growing stronger in it. I have a thing. Christians get married so fast because to me, it's always like, y'all want to have sex legally according to the Bible.
Right.
Do you guys want to address that?
I do.
I'm sure that was a lot of people's concerns. Like, oh no, they want to get busy.
Oh yeah. That was a common
concern.
misconception of like, but essentially, sex does influence the rate of which you get married. However, it should not be the reason you get married. Does that make sense? So like, okay, I'm not going to wait 5 years because I can't wait 5 years. However, that's not my motivating factor. So me and Jonathan decided we wanted to get married long before. Like we already talked. It was
long before in a 10-month span is hilarious, by the way.
I know. Okay, so let me say this. We got married in June. We talked about it in February. We were like, yeah, we're called to get married to each other. Like we feel like
because we're not just going to be dating just to date. We're not just vibing out.
I mean, and that's the thing too, is like the reason why I feel like people who are not Christian take longer to get married is because you're doing the marriage already.
Yeah,
you live together, you're having sex, you're doing all the things. So what reason would I have to marry you? I have everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
And that same like little bit of a tangent is like, well, why hasn't he proposed or why aren't you married? It's because you're already doing all the things. So why do I need to give you a title? Why do I need to give you a ring? Why do we need to even do a wedding?
Exactly.
If we're already doing the things.
It just becomes a title. There's no meaning behind it.
There's no meaning.
It's not valued as sacred anymore. So Christians essentially is like, oh, we're not doing any mixing. We're not bringing marriage into our dating life. So it was like, oh my gosh, there were so many boundaries. So less of I want to have sex with you. It was like, I can't do this, that, and the third because it will start to feel like marriage. Or like, it'll make me want to have sex with you. So there is a huge distinction between when we were dating and when we were married. They were not alike.
Yeah, and this, that, and the third is really like, are we really going to take a vacation to like Cancun and like be away from people for 7 days? Now, some people do. Some people have that grace in their relationships where they're like, yeah, I can hold off. Like, more power to you. I can't. I'm not. We're very attracted to each other, so I wouldn't put myself in harm's way of like being around too much or going on vacations. There's certain aspects of like doing life together that you can't do because that's reserved for a marriage. You understand? Like even for an emotional standpoint, mental standpoint, there are things that you're not going to share completely of how you feel.
Facts.
Like he
had stronger boundaries than I did.
Oh, very strong.
He had way more. Because honestly, I would have been fine with a vacation. I would have done it. I would have done separate rooms.
Me. No, you asked me. It's like, hey, can we like go stay with visit my family in Virginia, like stay with my brother?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah. So I was like, I have to honor his boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So I just say that because I don't want it to be seen like, oh, we had the same exact boundaries. I definitely was like, listen, I'm down to go do it. So I'm sure there are Christian couples who are like, I've seen couples do like double beds in the same room. Or I've seen people do separate rooms. You know, like it's different. I don't ever want our story to seem like you have to do it this way and it has to look this way. But that was the reality of our situation is that my husband didn't play. He didn't risk a lot of things. And I think that was wise. And I was like, I want access to this man. I want full access.
Even from an affection standpoint, because that was our biggest argument when we were dating.
Jesus.
She'd be like, you're not affectionate. Or I'm like, bro, I want to do more than just give you a hug. So I'm not going to hug you. And she'd be like, no, it don't got to be like that. It's like, it does actually.
Yeah, for me, in fact, I'd be feeling on that.
But
I hated it. I was like, you're treating me like a friend.
Yes, and you're my girlfriend. You're not my wife. My wife, as you know,
my boy back it out. My boy be backing it out.
But we got married not for sex, but for access. Access to affection, access to cuddles, and movie nights, cuddled up on the couch, and feeling my print on your back. Like we got married so that I could grab your titty when you washing dishes. We got married so that we could
visualizing it.
we got married so
very
that
specific just now. Like,
He did. He's
he
getting
just
into
labeled
it.
his favorite thing.
I know.
His favorite. I did. It's like, wait, okay, why can I see that one?
I could just
You're
walk
like,
by you and just slap your butt. Like,
Yeah.
we got married so that we can travel and see family and plan a vacation and live together and wake up next to each other.
Fire.
Now, sex is a part of that, but we got married for intimacy to get closer to each
That's
other
a bar.
so that we could bring both of our lives together and do life together.
You worded that very well.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Listen, I told you when I get those moments, I'm just go. I'll ad lib.
You worded that really well. You worded that very well.
I want to get a little bit more personal, right? Because
Okay.
I've always wanted these things, and I've spoken to these things to Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it. Okay. So while you guys are, because you guys weren't living together at the time, right? Your cravings for each other, were they ever addressed? Your physical cravings.
Mm-hmm.
I want you today. We staying outside. Don't come to my
No,
house.
like your sensual cravings. I'm asking, like, yo, did you slip up and masturbate, bro?
Oh.
No.
Yes.
I think I did one time because I had blue balls so bad and the pain was like so excruciating. I was like, I have to
You
do
gotta let one out. Yeah.
I was like, it hurt. It was hurting for hours. It was like 12 hours.
Science actually says, like, you cannot, like, semen retention is terrible. Like, you're supposed to be able to let.
Science says a lot of things.
Yes.
Science says we came from apes.
No, but there's certain things that are just objective.
I mean, but some
Sure.
people are called to a life of celibacy, though.
Right.
For a fact.
So it's like,
I don't think that's you, but just to clarify.
I don't think it's y'all either.
Yeah.
I definitely slipped up. I feel like that was more of a struggle for me in general. Because I still am trying to work out that boundary line when it comes to masturbation. And I've had this conversation with you. You've been very clear about your stance with it. So for me as a married woman now, I'm like, so if I'm thinking about my husband and I'm doing it, is that an issue? You know what I'm saying? Like, because yes, it's a lustful thought, but I should lust for my husband, should I not?
Yeah.
So, but I understand the nuance in it. Like, I've heard the argument of like, what's the issue? But for me, it was pretty tricky in the sense I was like, well, is it wrong? Like, I couldn't, because there's nothing in the Bible that clearly states it. But of course, people like, you know, they take different things and they're like, this is why I feel it's wrong. But so that was a struggle for me. I wasn't like really sure what God was saying to me conviction wise of like, is this a problem?
Yeah. I mean, it's really that sex was made between two people.
Mm-hmm.
And when you remove the second person out of it, it becomes just like self-pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And we were never created to please ourselves, but we have two sexual compartments that fit perfectly to be able to please each other.
But like, okay, so in a thing where like we're actively having sex, what if I haven't had an orgasm in a while?
Yeah.
And like a man's gonna get his regardless. And like, what if I haven't?
That's a conversation we have.
Yeah, but like that's not gonna fix overnight. So you're saying like, do you understand why I'm like, I don't?
Yeah.
Especially in the context of marriage. Like, if I'm thinking about my husband while I'm doing it, like, why? Or if I'm doing it in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think there's nuance in it. I don't think it's as cut and dry as people.
I should have your own pod. I can see this, by the way. Sorry for the cutoff. I can see this.
Yeah.
This?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I can see this. With this aesthetic too, by the way. Like with this type of like.
This is going to be our living room.
I
keep telling her this. Like I told her the dream for our living room because we have more space in this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the idea.
Nah, I think I'm watching this interaction just now. I'm like, whoa, this is like super viral.
Because this naturally goes back. This is all of our conversations.
It's genuine
No,
conversations.
but, like it looks good. I'm watching it like, oh, like you guys are like really, because you guys are still learning each other.
Yeah.
Yes,
right. So it's like, you know, and my next question was going to be like, is there pressure being a Christian? Is there a pressure being a Christian couple?
dive deeper into that.
So like, because you guys are public with your faith, right?
Yeah.
And you guys, again, the decision to get married young and fast, do you think there's a pressure placed on you guys to represent the faith as, the unit of what the Bible speaks of?
Yes.
No.
I like you.
Mm.
For me, it's kind of like,
They're so hot.
obviously, as like a wife, I feel like there's this expectation of, like, there are people who feel like I should be like covered from head to toe because I'm a wife. Or my husband is like, yo, wear what you want because you're a wife.
Yeah,
like,
I want to wear
you're
less
taken.
clothes. Yeah.
We have this
also likes.
He likes skin.
Yes.
He likes to see.
He's a
He's a visual man.
He's a Haitian man. He likes skin.
Nah, but best believe if I wear an outfit though, like there are gonna be Christian women in my comments like
I'll be in the comments too.
Saying one thing. So it's kind of like, okay, there's this pressure of like expectation, which is also just me as a Christian woman in general. Even if I was single, that would probably be the case.
With that though, I think I always attest to like how women dress with their energies. Like you could see two different girls wear the same outfit, but one is just carrying it better. Like there's just an aura and a placement with it that's like super like.
Yes, one could be classy, one could be trashy,
it's like,
but it's the same outfit.
Like she got that thing on, but it's taste. It's a bit more.
It's tasteful.
So it's like, yeah, I get it. I've never seen you wear anything,
Oh, I mean, when I was like 19, like I would wear a see-through bodysuit and like nipple covers that you could clearly. I would have tape. Like I have a photo that I posted of like the way that I used to dress and the way that I dress now, and there's a distinct difference for sure. But yet the way I dress now is not modest enough for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh no, I've seen the growth. There is a distinct like difference. Like he'll go back if you scroll deep enough.
I used to have you on Facebook.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I wanted to exude a sexual era. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you carry that sexual energy.
Good girl going bad face.
It was. But now it's like, the way that I dress, like I am very intentional about how I dress. I do think about like where I'm showing up with certain spaces and things like that. And the last thing I'm not trying to get attention. I'm a married woman. The last thing I'm looking for is like to get a man's attention in any kind of way. Yeah. So if something I'm doing is you deem as like attractive, like that's not really my fault. I also can't like, like there's just so much I can do to like shrink myself to make people feel comfortable. Like there is a level of like self-accountability of like.
Dang, why do you say no?
That's the expectation, because I think as Christians, we all have the same standard of where we're getting to. And I think sometimes, the way I understand the question is like, since we're married now and we're married young, there's this expectation. But I don't like that pedestal type of energy. And I think that happens a lot in Christian communities. Like, since we're married, we have answers. And I don't know. I'm still Jonathan, you're still Naya. Like, us being married doesn't elevate us in any form or standard, or it puts us at more expectancy than anyone else.
I think it does. And I say that because, like, you guys are in a position outside of your, jobs of being influencers. Like, you guys are in a position of influence because it's not as common in our generation to get married this young. So, like, there is a standard set. So, like, if Jonathan gets married young and he's super faithful, like, that has a different type of effect because I'm like, yo, bro, you got married young. I'm expecting you to cheat and make the mistakes. You know how, like,
I see what you're saying.
The Charlemagne story. Like, I'm young, I got married, I didn't know what I was doing. My wife was there. Like, that's usually how it goes. So, like, there's definitely a standard expectation. Like, you might not set it on yourself because, again, that's just what we're going to do, right? We're like, no, I'm not. I'm going to be, same thing with me and my baptism right now. It's like, I know I have things to answer to, but I'm also not going to put myself in that mindset of, like, answering them because it's like, I don't have to, but it's real. It's like, no, like, people are looking at us to influence and to have that we're looking for people. Like, I'm looking at you, Jonathan, like, just to be a bit transparent, like you, I always say you and E, you guys shock me the most because you guys are the closest in age to me, and how you guys are like madly, bro. I saw your friends yesterday. They on BT, bro. They on bad timing. So to see how you stand out amongst us, like, it's different. Like, you get what I'm saying? That's why I held back and said I'm watching everybody talk. I'm listening to it. I'm like, okay, like, but you play a different position for the people around you. right? Once your friends started realizing that you were taking your faith seriously, they also took you seriously, and like they allowed you to be, bigger than Eggy. But I'm saying,
Smile.
so there is a level of expectation set, especially when you're indulging in the conversations that we indulge in.
Yeah.
It's like there is a standard. I'm expecting you to follow your own word.
Yeah.
Because if you are gonna be the leader of if you're gonna be a vessel in this space, like that's the role it's default. That's your role by default. Like
That's what I'm saying though. Is like I think the problem with that separation is that sometimes I think it can also take off the pressure and expectations from other Christians and being like, all right, so since you're there and I'm here, I'm gonna need you to lead and set the example. But we're all example setters. I mean, it says that we're a royal priesthood. So everyone should be a priest. Everyone is a representative of their faith. And just because I'm married doesn't mean like I'm a better or higher representative. The standard, like you said, is set for everybody. So we're all in this together of like representing Christ accurately, showing love, showing patience, showing kindness, bearing fruits of the Spirit. Like this is on all of us. This is a collective body. What does it say about the body? The eye, the finger, the toe. We need everybody being representatives and showing what that looks like. And just because we're married, that doesn't put us in a separate category, doesn't put us in a special place. Even as influencers, I believe everybody has influence. We were just talking about the Abrahamic covenant. Like that's a part of it, is to have influence. And with God, you're going to have a circle of influence. When you go to your job, you have influence. When you go to your home, you have a level of influence. Everyone isn't a social media influencer, but everyone does have influence on the people that are in their lives. But if we just negate that because of like how it looks or how it presents itself in opportunity, then we miss it. And now we're growing shy of our responsibility of picking up this load together.
Yeah.
And I think that happens too often. We all have that call.
Boy was talking just now. Before we divert into the other stuff, couple more questions. I need some advice, guys.
Okay.
Right? Dating as a believer.
Oh.
Before that, I want to ask you guys, why do you guys think, and I'll start with my piece. My biggest struggle with dating right now, right? The question is, what do you guys think is, hold on. Oh, why is it so hard to find love at such a young age? But also like what the problems are with dating right now. My problem right now is
What's the problem?
shot.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Should I do like high tone or low tone? I'm gonna do, this is Lolo, so I'm gonna do like calm.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the calm, sexy thing. It worked last episode.
Okay.
I feel like people. You hear it? You hear it?
Yes, we hear it.
All right, my biggest issue with dating right now is that I feel like everybody's like so full of themselves. Everyone feels so entitled. I feel like everybody feels the need to be impressed right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's so toxic and detrimental to, I think it's counterproductive to what an idea of a partnership is.
Mm-hmm.
T, it's okay, I'll cut it. I'll cut it, T.
She's like, how do I maneuver this?
I wish they could have saw. I wish they could have saw that.
That was hilarious.
That felt so serious.
Yeah, I'll cut it. Yes, but everybody feels so entitled. Like my biggest thing right now is like I'm the minute a girl tells me, oh, I get tired of people easily. I get bored of people easily. Like you sound so entitled and full of yourself that it turns me off. Cause it's like I'm somebody, especially if I have good intentions with you, which I always should have. But the extra good intentions
Extra good.
of being patient, of being kind and caring, having grace, compassion, and really understanding and growing with you. When you introduce yourself with a statement like that, like it pisses me off. It like turns me off completely, where it's like, no, like you sound so entitled and full of yourself. And it sounds like you're waiting for somebody to impress you.
Yes.
And that's my thing, where I don't feel the need to impress anybody. Not even if I like you, if I'm attracted to you, because I'm like, yo, what I'm building here is not something of impression. It's like, no, I want to be cared for, I want to be loved for, and I want to love and I want to care. So that's my biggest thing right now. When it gets deep for me, that's what I think about. I'm like, okay, no, like why is it hard for me to find people? It's because everybody's feeling themselves. I feel the need to, oh, I gotta impress this guy. And sometimes it's not even financial either. Sometimes it's just like the vibes, the energy, the lifestyle. Like, you know, certain conversations I gotta lead with, and I gotta show that I can know how to speak. And it's like,
Yeah.
wait, like, no, like I need somebody to stimulate me too. Because once you take so much out of me, pause. When you take all of that, it drives me crazy.
Mm,
And I think, I hope everybody heals from their past traumas to enhance their future relationships. But for me, that's my biggest thing right now, especially with the modern day woman. Like, oh my
yeah.
God, I can't do it right now.
No, I completely agree. I think I've noticed that in dating too. And that's why I was excited to leave the game. Because in it, I think as where we become, I think completing society, I don't think it's geographical, but when you just hop on social media or see what's going on, we're becoming more and more lovers of ourselves.
Yeah,
Like we got front cameras now. Yeah, it's selfie. Made a whole word for
that
it.
was a ball.
Like, bro, we love ourselves a lot more than I can say past generations have, and we have more opportunities to love on ourselves.
Yeah,
And from that, if we love ourselves so much, we also expect more out of other people to
yes,
love on us because we have love on us.
facts.
So if you're loving on yourself a lot, anyone who comes to your life, you expect them to love on you. But in that selfishness or the culture of self, we aren't as good givers anymore. So you go into a dating scene looking for what you can get and take, but not what you can give. And from that alone, you're gonna be at odds because no one's looking to give anything because everyone is hurt.
Facts.
Because if you gave and you got burnt, why would you give again? But it's also, if you know that you're forgiven, you'll forgive others. And that healing process of always giving, you'll find who can reciprocate your giving. But you got to give. But no one is in the business of giving.
Facts.
Everyone is being frugal.
Facts. My other thing too is like one thing I realized is that our generation specifically, and I'm not I'm not an our generation type of person. I'm not a
Our
I hate talking about
generation.
generations. I think nothing's new under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But um due to the advancement of technology and social media, we became so shallow to our entitlement. Like people people we feel like we deserve better because we look good.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like we deserve better because we're making money or we accomplish things that we're
Master's
supposed to. If you want to be
degrees.
successful
Mm-hmm.
in life, you have to do certain things to just do it. So for me, it's like realizing like why people are like demanding to be impressed. Like it's like has nothing to do with me, but how they feel about themselves. And that's
Yep.
what pissed me off. Where it's like, wait, like, yeah, shorty, like, yeah, you got a good job, or or you're an attractive woman with
Right. So now I
hella,
deserve
hella,
this type of
yeah,
man.
no,
I
that
deserve
don't mean
this.
because I chase the spirit. That's why, like, you guys seen some of the girls I decided to take serious. Like the spirit of like a good person. Like I love me a good person, somebody who cares,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who knows how to express themselves, somebody who's a bit more patient. And yeah, but I realized because especially like even with me, like bro, like I work hard, so I'm not giving just any woman the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no,
You can't
I
get time back.
I am giving a lot of I have given a lot of people the time of day, but like there's a specific time of the day where I'm like super intimate where people can really get to know me.
Mm-hmm. Is
Like
that
that's
nighttime? When is yours?
no, that's definitely the daytime.
Okay, cause I'm just checking.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't give myself in full capacity. Like, I know who to give myself in full capacity
Right.
to. Because if we're coming from a shallow standpoint, then I'm just gonna meet you there, and then we're just probably not gonna go nowhere because I'm not gonna feel the need to impress you. I don't feel the need to protect you, and that's where I stand compared to like somebody I do share good energy with.
Mm-hmm.
I now feel the need to protect them. I have a thing where I always the minute I find out you have a good spirit,
Mm-hmm.
um, I text you like I'm gonna spare you if I'm not ready. I always tell them like I'm gonna spare you. Like I'm not ready.
Right.
Because
Don't waste your
I
time.
refuse to manipulate and traumatize you due to my current circumstances and my current cravings.
Don't
Like,
bring them into your mess.
yeah. So
That almost sounds like so you only mess with people who you feel like are worthy of being damaged? Like, what do you? I don't understand.
That's what it sounds like.
Because you're,
That's what it
you know,
Is that what it sounds
I'm
like?
listening. Because you were like,
No, if that's what it sounds
if
like,
it's
then
a
that's what
good
it is.
person, if
I
it's a
just
good
can't-
person,
No,
I'm gonna spare you.
no, I'm
So like, who are you not sparing? The people who we feel are worthy
no,
of that.
it's not even that. It's
Sparing is an interesting word.
I know, like spare,
like I just complained about
them-
people being entitled, and I sound like a
you do sound entitled.
Yeah, I sound
Because you were like,
entitled too.
like
I'm in control.
a certain woman got to give the time of day. Like this is the harsh reality to dating. It is a vetting process. Period. Now, granted, I do feel like there are people that exist that are fuller of themselves. But there are people who also struggle to love themselves and take whatever the case may be. I think the harsh reality of the dating process is that it is a vetting process. You do not want to give things too early. So I don't expect you to I don't think you should show up as a full-blown like boyfriend in the dating stage. And when I say dating, I'm not talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm talking about like y'all are feeling each other out. You're you know what I'm saying? So there is a level of like, it's not unconditional love in that stage. And you shouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be filling out like, are you the type of person that I should invest? That is what that is.
So,
should I invest in
Here's
you?
my thing, right? With like, and you guys again, I always feel like you guys got lucky with each other. But my thing is,
God blessed.
amen. My thing is, the hard part for me has always been trusting,
Mm.
right? Like if I feel like I like somebody, I want to go all in right there
Mm.
because I can't deal with the idea of you dating other people, vetting out other people. Like if this feels right here, right now, like let's do it. Like I always said I'm the type to get married in a day. Like if I meet somebody today, I might marry them tomorrow. Like I always felt that way.
Also Haitian.
Very Haitian.
Yeah.
But like that's how I feel. It's like no, like I don't want to deal with the idea and my level of insecurity. Yes, guys, I'm calling myself insecure because they came at me last time.
Accountability.
Yeah. No, I don't want to deal with that level of insecurity of not being able to have you in full capacity because I'm lacking certain things because you might go get it elsewhere because you're an attractive woman. Like that makes me go crazy. Like if I'm really attracted to you right now, like,
But
yeah, let's be my girl right now. Even if it's for 2 weeks, if it don't work out, clip. But I want you to be faithful right now. I want you to be loyal right now. And I'm going to try to do the same right now.
Uh-oh.
y'all don't even know each other though.
That's fine. In the
No,
process
it's
of us
not
getting to know each
fine.
other, let's
You want her to be loyal to
Off
getting
the
to
rip.
know
yo,
you?
because yo,
That's possessive.
I don't even want to.
That is possessive.
I'm not
And
even gonna keep it.
You have no
Wait,
basis for the possession.
It took a wild turn. He was like, I
I'm
feel like
not.
people
No,
are
hold on.
entitled.
I'm not.
And then
gonna-
he goes,
I'm not gonna keep it
And
right
then he
now.
went on an entitlement
No, I'm gonna say it
rant.
this way because I don't want to be. No guy ever wants to be that guy. I don't want to like you and court you a certain type of
Right.
way and not deal with you physically because I tend to I like holding off on that when I don't want to say that part. When I really like you and respect you,
Just let
Yeah,
it
'cause
out.
people
I
gonna
turn
watch
to, like, hold
"You
off.
touch me.
but
Uh-huh.
respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to think that another guy's blowing your back out. That's the biggest.
You feel
And most of us feel this way, and they will never say it. But it's like no, like a lot of reasons why it don't work out with men.
Yes.
Like that sounded paused. A lot of reasons why a lot of those relationships because everybody knows like okay, I'm dealing with this person and that person. They come in with this type of audience. I know that this person gets these types of people. I don't want to find out that another dude's blowing her back out while I'm trying to get her.
I get it.
And women are out here doing that, and I don't mind.
Men are too. It's not
It's
just women.
different though.
It's
'cause
not.
they're-
No, it's not
They're
different.
being spent on. You gotta understand. I'm taking you on dates.
Here's
but we're
here's
doing
what-
this. We're
here's
doing
what you're
that.
really saying.
I'm
You
trying
want her to
get
take you on a date?
Huh?
Would you prefer that? Would
But
that
I'm
make you feel
saying-
more
but here's
comfortable?
what
All
you're
you gotta
really
do is your
saying.
makeup, if that.
You're saying what you're really saying is your entitlement in dating.
Facts.
Because
I
But like,
just said
I'm
that.
investing
You
money in
feel
you, so I need
entitled
this to come back.
You feel entitled to her loyalty, her commitment, and her body, even though she's not even your girlfriend, because you're investing into her. So what you're really saying, right?
And I'm gonna say yes to that.
Yes, say yes. And
Yes.
what you're really
Yes.
saying is, and I will call you out on it, is you're scared to compete.
I'm not scared to
You're
compete.
scared to compete.
No, I'm never scared to compete. I don't like competing.
You don't
There's a
like
difference.
competing.
I'm not
But
scared to compete. Don't do
That's
that.
not your girl yet.
I'm not.
You
So
shouldn't be
then
competing
so
when
then
that's your
compete then.
girlfriend.
Huh?
You shouldn't compete when
You're-
that's your girlfriend. But you're talking about this strange woman that you found, like she's beautiful, whatever, and you're like in a week, you're like, oh, I don't want to compete.
Listen,
You
this
think you're the only man out here? Like, and vice versa. Like, she
Why y'all blacking on me like
Because
this?
they're scared to, bro. There's other people
Why
in the.
y'all blacking
It's week
up?
1, week 2, week 3. There's other dudes
on.
in the picture.
Yo, I
But
gotta deal with 3 weeks of you potentially getting your back blown out.
Why are you
But
entitled to her
somebody-
body?
Don't
She's
even-
not your wife.
Don't worry about what she's
It's
doing.
not even your body.
First of all, okay, if we
That's
talking about
not your
regular
body.
dating,
She don't belong
that's one
to
thing.
you.
She doesn't belong to
She
you.
doesn't belong to you. This is
I understand
she's a
that part.
rental. Not even a rental. She's not even your girlfriend.
Lord.
Yeah, that sounded crazy.
She's a rental. It's crazy.
Yes.
Anyway,
No, I'm saying in the aspect of like she's not
Yes,
permanently
I get it.
yours.
Yes.
She's a lease.
It's a lease.
Or
Facts.
I do not support this language.
I gotta give it back.
I do not support this language. I understand what you're trying to say.
Yes.
I do not support this
Back
language.
to the streets.
But no, like essentially she's not yours. Now, if we're talking about because you're saved, right? So I'm gonna put this under
Yes.
the faith aspect. This shouldn't even be a conversation.
Facts.
Like, okay, so first off, less than like her getting her back blown out, because clearly that's where your brain is going.
No,
But like,
it's
but
me
like
being saved has nothing to do with that reality though.
no, but I
But
know
it's
there
still
are
a
Christian
thing.
women,
There's
still
women-
having sex.
yes.
I know that. I
You
know
know what I'm
that.
saying? It's like,
What
But
I'm trying
under
to say
that,
is
yes.
though, is like, okay, there are other men. So I want to be very clear. When me and Jonathan started dating, we were very much still dating other people in the
he was
beginning.
not.
He said he was.
Look at me.
Look at
she said she told
Look at me. He was never
Look
the
at-
type.
look at me. I
I'm-
told him I was like, mess with who you want.
Yes, I got
And
very excited.
I'm agree with you. I am the type of person that's possessive, but I knew I fall too hard too fast and I overly invest, and that would bite me in the butt. So I was like, I'm gonna slow down the process. I'm gonna continue to date. No matter how much I like you, no matter how much I'm interested in you, I'm slowing down the process on me. I'm guarding my heart in this situation.
So
So I will
yes.
continue to be courted and do all the things
And you can see who you want, and I can see who
and
I
see
want.
whoever you want. And if we want to change
And
that,
top dog wins. That's it.
Who won?
You know, I did. But you know what makes it, you know what's good about that process?
Show the ring, show the ring, show the ring, show the ring.
I won. But you know what makes that process so good? It's because instead of us saying, all right, you have to hone in only on me, being a choice feels good. Like being chosen, right? So if she is talking to 5 dudes and she ends up choosing you, I have to tell you a story about my parents, because this is exactly how it happened. My dad met my mom. He was working for the Haitian government at the time. He saw her on the side of the road and was like, hey, let me drop you home. That's crazy. She didn't hop in the car. She said, I'm going to drop this at the dry cleaners. When I'm done, you can take me home. He was like, bet. He spent the block. Of course, when he came back, she wasn't there.
as she should.
He drove down the road, found her, was like, get in the car, let me drop you home. Wore her down, dropped her home,
Jesus.
and they started dating after that.
In 2024, this was not.
This
was not
This
happening.
is not
Not in
safe.
America.
So,
Especially in Haiti.
They right.
so eventually, through their dating process, he would always come give her gifts and give her things, but she was seeing other dudes. So this is what my mom did. She decided to have a dinner. So her and her friend cooked a dinner, and she invited like all 4 or 5 guys that she was interested at the time,
That's so
and
funny.
had her friend help her cook. Her friend is the vetter, right? She had a good friend, like, hey, help me cook. I'm gonna invite these dudes, and you'll let me know like what it looked like. All 5 dudes came. My dad said he came in. There's like 4 other dudes there. They dapped each other up, and they had a night of dinner, right? So she had her girlfriend there. So it kind of just feels like a vibe, like a hangout. But the dudes are just like, oh, like I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so. And then by the end of the night, one by one, all the dudes left. My dad stayed back. The guy that he is, he stayed back. He helped them clean.
Yeah.
He cleaned, you know,
Earned his stripes.
dropped off the friend. His car was clean. He had a car. And he got chosen. The friend liked him. She liked him. And he got chosen. That's the thing though. That feels good though.
Last question. I have to ask a married couple this because we have to get into the
Okay.
religious stuff.
Yeah.
So who's the prize?
What you said?
Who's the prize?
Who's the prize?
Who's the prize? The man or the woman?
Biblically, she is.
Biblically, she is.
Biblically, she is.
Okay. Now,
No, he's
The bride will always be the prize.
okay. How do you actually feel?
How do I feel?
He feels like he's the prize.
I do feel like I am the prize.
Now we're getting somewhere. Why do you feel like you're the prize?
And the reason why I have to start biblically is because that is what God is working on my heart.
Hello.
All right?
Hello.
Because there's things in the Bible we might not
You have
necessarily
tension
agree
with.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're
And I do have tension with that of like, you know, he calls us the bride, he's the groom. And I'm like, okay, biblically, I understand. The bride is the prize. Like the one coming down the aisle and everybody, oh my gosh. But it's like, without a man, we carry life in our scrotum, in our ball. Like the very essence of life, we carry it. And we have the ability to penetrate and give our seed to create life.
Facts.
But that's also an analogy to what we are to this world. And I believe the world that we live in is broken because of the men that live in it.
Agreed.
And we are the price, because if men really became the men that God designed them to be, this whole world would be different. This whole world would be
Facts.
completely different. Most predators, rapists, criminals, like men, I feel like since we lead in brokenness, we
Men
see
are the
so
problem.
much
That's what he said.
brokenness in the world. But we're the prize, because when we do rise up to what God called us to be, we see healthy families, we see healthy homes, healthy workplaces,
Healthy sons.
bro, healthy
daughters.
sons.
Facts.
We can.
If you ever
Bro.
pay attention with men, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, the reality is the women are definitely the prize because they get to carry life.
Yes,
and they go
and they
through all
bring
of
it
that.
to fruition.
Now,
Cultivate it.
to continue life, a man is needed. This is why they always do this thing with like the kids, right? If you ever look at the position that a father plays, we all know that mothers are closer to their sons, right?
Right.
A father's position is so neutral with his kids because it demands so, like the proper father demands so much respect from no matter boy or girl.
Yeah.
Like the father's respect travels.
Mm-hmm.
A daughter's not gonna respect the mother wholeheartedly the way a daughter and a son is gonna respect the father. Sons are
Yes.
always chasing their father's
Yes.
love. Daughters always love their fathers. It's always that one, and that's because the identity of a man is that. The idea, like a daughter will never like it's not a thing to protect your father.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a thing. It's your father's thing to protect you,
Mm.
right? A son is going to protect the mother, protect the father. Like the roles are real. Like the gender roles are real when it comes to that aspect, right? As a woman, you're not meant to be. Well, I don't know what the real thing is, but I'm saying like naturally, you guys are not protectors. A man is. Like a son, no matter his age, will feel the need to protect his mother, his sister.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So it's that. So when it turns into fatherhood, same thing. Like once you're a father, like I still hide behind my father's shield at this grown ass age.
Yeah.
Because he's a man.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So like a man's role is very much
Yes.
needed.
I agree.
Let's get right into it. Let's talk about this. T, please tell me you got like 10 left. Love it here. Thank you. What do you guys want? What do you guys want to touch on? Let's talk about your stuff first. I think it'd be quicker.
Okay, yes.
Healthy Christians. So Christianity, and it all falls under the same umbrella.
Right.
So Christianity has this. For a long time, my biggest problem with Christianity was that there's a struggle look to it. Right? Because there's a concept of people should love you for who you are and accept you for who you are, because, we're made in the image of God and that's what he does. So, but a lot of times, like we see people physically fall off and, they're feeding their soul, but like they're physically losing it. And you could see that like, oh, like, and I call it the Christian look. Like, oh, like you're so invested into the spirit that you're not taking care of your body or,
Wow.
It's not as much of a demand compared to when you were not as much of into the faith and you were taking care of your exterior, So why does Christianity have a struggle look? And what's your? I'm trying to be politically. I'm trying to be politically correct as possible.
I don't feel like there's a struggle look to Chris. That's actually something I've never witnessed.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never witnessed. Now, granted, if you're talking about like the Christian suffering is one thing, but like just a struggle
We're gonna get
look,
there.
yeah,
We're gonna get there.
Okay, but I'm like struggle look.
Struggle look. So growing up in church, the struggle look he's talking about is that you'll see most pastors are overweight. Most leaders in the church aren't physically fit. They're spiritually fit. They're spiritually prepared, but their physical readiness is probably like an all-time low. Even growing up in the Haitian church, a couple pastors passed away from high blood pressure and diabetes.
Facts.
All over Flatbush Avenue. Like 3-4 of them just knocked down like flies from high blood pre-COVID.
I feel like that has less to do with their spiritual life and more to do with their cultural appetite.
Oh, yes. Let's get into it.
I think
No. Yeah, go for it.
minorities struggle with that.
Okay, and
High
that's
blood pressure, diabetes, it's what you're eating.
and if that's a culture issue,
with minorities, yes.
it's a spiritual issue. It's a spiritual attack on the kingdom. And let me tell you why. Because our bodies were bought for a price. Our
souls.
bodies. No, our bodies.
It's a temple of the Holy Spirit. But okay, all right.
A Bible app is ready because Christ died for our bodies. Our bodies were bought. Our bodies aren't just things that we just have. This is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And even the same way when we talk about sexual purity, how we treat our bodies, is also how we take care and steward what God has given us. And in the kingdom, there's this disparity for some reason that we will continue investing to our souls, but not physically. And then when we look at the life of Christ, we look at the life of disciples, what they were doing. They were walking. They were climbing up Mount. What you got? What you pulled up?
No, I was looking up the verse that you were mentioning. It's saying 1 Corinthians 6:20, you were bought with a price. You were purchased by the precious blood of Jesus and made his own. So then, honor and glorify God with your body.
How do you glorify So then, since you were bought with a price, glorify God with your body. Mm-hmm. And how do you go about doing that? We could talk about abstinence. We could talk about
fasting.
Fasting. If I'm a representative, if my body's a representative of who God is, and you're coming across me, and you see that I'm not taking care of my body, that's contradictory. That's like
facts.
That's contradicting itself because I'm not taking care of God's temple.
Yeah.
But I'm taking care of my soul. Now, here's the other verse that I love. When in Timothy, it says, see, physical fitness is of good benefit, but spiritual fitness is beneficial for all things. And some people see that as like, oh, like he's knocking exercise. No, he's saying that's beneficial. You should be taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
But also remember, the highest thing is spiritual fitness. So yes, our hierarchy is that we spiritually should be doing that, but out of the abundance of our spirit, it should be shown in our bodies.
Important.
Because how are you supposed to be leading people spiritually, but you physically are tired, grumpy, sleepy? And that's the spiritual attack, is that we deprioritize and say, oh, it's just culture. Okay. It's just a bit of grill. It's a bit of,
Spit, right?
Bro, a bit of fried food, fried chicken. We love our fried chicken. And it's just culture. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And we're blind to the attack of the enemy that he's having on our bodies. So when it's time to get up and maybe serve the homeless or go up steps, or bro, I've seen people have a hard time preaching, being out of breath. Mm-hmm. Just doing the work of God, normal everyday lives, you can't. And now that you're depressed, you think it's a spirit. You think it's spiritual warfare because you're depressed. You think it's warfare because your hormones are out of whack and you're suffering mental things. Bro, you don't eat greens. You don't eat food.
You don't drink your water.
You don't drink water. You're drinking soda.
Listen, I'm guilty.
And it's like, how about we start with the basics first of how we're taking care of ourselves? Before we just slap spiritual warfare on everything. Food controls your mood. Even in Adam, look how important food was. You can eat of any fruit, of any tree. He provided Adam with substance of nutrients. And I feel like every time I go to the Old Testament, I see like how God kind of has this representation of food. Like New Testament, he blessed all foods and considered them to be holy for us to have and partake in. And there's this balance of like, food is something that we need. Who was it that was sleeping and God woke him up to eat?
Elijah.
Bro, substance. You think he woke him up to eat what, fried chicken? Did fried chicken come off the sky? It was manna, bread of heaven, unleavened bread. Bro, Ezekiel bread. All right, you gotta stop me. You have to stop me.
I was gonna say, because there's a lot. I agree. I will say that there are obese and unhealthy people that are not Christian.
They're still under attack.
No, they are. But that's not, because you were like the Christian struggle look. It's not like everyone else is healthy and you're a Christian.
I was just being ignorant and doing clickbait stuff. So, next, suffering in Christianity. Let's address that real quick. Like, okay, let me ask the question. So, because this is what I already talked about this episode too. Why does Christianity always come with a story of suffering and struggle? Like, why does it always feel like most people that's been delivered or saved had to go through the depths of hell to reach the mountaintops of heaven? Like, why is that a thing? And on top of that, why does it always feel like Christians aren't allowed to have an abundance of wealth? You know, like I want to know that. Like I always see that in the culture of Christianity. And again, it's not Bible. But again, like why does Christianity always feel like a struggle thing, not an abundant thing?
That's what Jesus did.
So I wanted to pull up this verse. James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. So first and foremost, God uses suffering to mature you. To grow you. He's pruning you. Right? So for you to be the finished
tired
work.
of being pruned.
We're all tired of being pruned. That's
like,
that's the part.
Pruning me, bruv.
He's like, nah, there's a version of you I gotta get you to, bro. I want more for you.
Why don't you just make me that though? Like you're almighty. Just make me that. Like
he does make you it.
No, but I'm saying, why can't he just snap his fingers and do it? Like, yo,
you know, sometimes he does give you the blessing.
I know.
He gave you the peace.
But that's a grace. That's a gifting and a grace.
He gives you patience sometimes. And sometimes he doesn't give you a trial to go through.
Facts, I agree.
To learn patience.
I feel like that's how he gave it to me.
Right.
Facts.
He just like gave it to you. He was like, you know what? Here's a gift. Here's patience. Like you didn't have to like go through impatient trials.
Facts.
Right.
He was like, here's patience.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, how do you get a skill of any kind is like going through it. If you want to be patient, you have to be tested
human, though,
to be unpatient.
And you know what's the part is? Sometimes he's
impatient.
He's trying to have us depend on him for the certain things that we need ourselves to have to get us to the next part, but we're not getting it.
That makes more sense.
Think of the people of Israel. He's like, yo, I want you to see me as your only God.
Mm-hmm.
And they wasn't getting it. So guess what? He was like, let's go through the desert where there's no other people in the wilderness where you can't assimilate to any other culture for 40 years so you can understand and depend on me.
Yeah.
Let's do that. They still didn't get it. So another trial. A trial is sometimes, I believe, we go through the same trials, repeated trials, is because we didn't get it the first time. Like for me, my story is I had to go through an insane trial because he was trying to teach me the importance of community. Having Christian brothers and sisters be in my life and give them vulnerability. I was very performative because I gave my life. I was born in the church, but gave my life to Christ at 16. Joined the church I'm at, Bridge Church. And
shout out Bridge Church.
Shout out Bridge Church.
Shout out Bridge Church.
Natasha Robeson. And even when I was there at 16, as I got stronger in my faith and more serious, I was still performative. So, and that's what I learned growing up. You know, show up to church and be Christianese and say all these things.
I like that one. Christianese.
Christianese. I was speaking the language. Grace and by the love of God and God bless you, blessed and highly favored. Yeah. But the church I was at, you've been there, they're very real. They're very vulnerable. But I wasn't adapting. He was trying to teach me, this is a safe place. Be vulnerable. But I wasn't getting it. So guess what he did? He gave me a trial. And what was the trial? I had a witch of a girlfriend that made my fiance. I thought I was having twins, and my whole life was crushing. I gained weight, I got fat, and I didn't have time to focus on myself. My haircuts was bad. I had a pencil beard.
Haircuts still bad, but everything else. That did not make it better.
That didn't make it better.
That did not make it better, Jonathan.
It did. But I had to check for myself. But he gave me a trial of my whole self being crushed, and he crushed me. I thought I was having twins. I got my own apartment. You've been there. 2-bedroom apartment, mad space, furnished it, like working 60 hours a week, full-time in school. Mm-hmm. And he put me in that scenario. He allowed it to happen because when it happened, I realized the importance of community. Community, the people that came, I realized the value of my mother, my father, my brother, everyone who came and supported me. I realized how important it was to let them in on my life. Because when you're having twins, I can't perform anymore. I'm having sex.
Right, you can't hide
I shut up the club.
Right.
And I need help because I'm having twins. And my business is out there.
Yeah.
And because of that situation, it taught me the importance of community. Now, if I had learned that before, I'm 100% sure I wouldn't have even dated that girl. Because I would have told my community.
And they would have been like, nah.
And they would have been like, nah. And I would have listened. But since I wasn't doing that, I needed a situation and trial to perfect my faith.
Facts. Quick misconception of baptism.
Oh.
Because so a big influence in why I got saved is Jonathan. He was preaching to me what baptism was. And I didn't grasp it because I grew up in this Haitian community that used to, they just had their own doctrines and how they view things. So I want you guys to explain to the people, to the world, what baptism is, and then we could wrap with a prayer.
So baptism is an outward expression of what is already going on internally. What baptism is not is like now your walk is for real starting. It is not now you are perfect and you're always going to get it right. It is you just publicly declaring like, I'm going to follow Jesus. That's what it is. But it can be an internal work. You will continue to fall. You will be imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
You will not get it right.
Yep.
Baptism doesn't mean like now I'm a saint.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you recognizing that you need a savior. That's all that it is like I'm recognizing that I'm imperfect and I need Jesus.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. That's as simple as I could wrap it up.
That's why I got baptized.
And we all need to be baptized.
You feel me? And that's why I encourage a lot of people to get baptized. You want to say anything about that?
Bro, baptism is every day. We're all getting dunked every day to get sanctified. Like we all need that.
Yeah.
It's because we fall. We all need it.
We fall. I like that. That might be the name of this episode.
We fall.
We fall
No.
down.
FGH. Thank you guys. Hold on. Right on the dot. Right. Jonathan, you take us out with prayer?
Oh, sure.
Nah, take it out. Prayer?
Hold hands. Hold his hand.
What now?
Oh,
T, you want to pray with us? Yeah. One time.
It won't be long, I promise. As long as God doesn't make it long.
Sweet, concise prayers are powerful.
I'm planning to make it short. Dear Lord, God, I just want to first acknowledge your everlasting grace and mercy that allowed us to be here. Lord God, you see all the words that we spoke, all the stories that we told. And Lord, it's all for your kingdom and your glory. God, I pray that we don't forsake for 1 second all that you've done in our lives and all that you're continuing to do. Lord, I pray that this episode not only travels far to the end of the earth to touch those, to transform lives, but Lord, that they would recognize who you are in their lives. God, we thank you for your grace that allowed us to be here. I thank you for T. I thank you for Angelo. Lord, you are doing a great work in this world, and I thank you that we are vessels to be able to even do it. Lord, bless this time and bless where this is going to go. Lord, we thank you for it all. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 All right, one time. FGH.
FGH.
We out. Thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of The Lolo Show. This probably going to drop like tomorrow, guys. I'm not going to lie.
Wait, what?
I didn't have an episode.
Oh, wow.